Tonight on the Bayou Breakdown.
LSU football starts the season off on the right foot after an epic defensive battle in the other Death Valley.
LSU Volleyball's intense opening weekend, hosting two ranked opponents in the PMAC.
And LSU soccer's performance against a strong rival from the Golden State.
All that and more, the Bayou Breakdown starts now. Welcome to the first Bayou Breakdown of the fall semester. I'm Olivia Girardi.
And I'm Kennedy Banks. Happy Labor Day, Tigers. Now, Olivia, campus might have been closed for this holiday, but I feel like everyone was still feeling the buzz of college football Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get right into the action here. Check it out. Number 9 LSU visiting number 4 Clemson in Memorial Stadium. Tigers versus Tigers, first Saturday of the season, ready to battle. Now, Kennedy, I'll admit, watching this first half, I was a little nervous. I thought the LSU offense looked a little bit shaky and like they really had a hard time getting started, but that second half was just absolutely electric, especially from the defense. I mean, it was down luck. But what were some of your key takeaways from
I think
that?
my biggest key takeaway was that we finally have a defense to live on, and I love that, and I love that the offense doesn't have as much pressure. I'm really excited to see this defense play again.
Yeah, me too.
And while being 4-1 against Clemson is great and all, the biggest storyline of this weekend should be that LSU is 1-0 for the first time since 2019. I mean, it has been 6 years since we have felt this feeling. And Olivia and I were actually in Clemson to see the LSU defense put on the biggest show on the greatest stage. The key to this game was making Klubnik uncomfortable in the pocket. Klubnik and the Clemson O-line faced relentless pressure from LSU's front four. Safety P.J. Woodland had a sack and a tackle for loss, with Harold Perkins Jr. mirroring the exact same stat line. LSU had players flying all over the field tonight.
Primarily, get them out of rhythm, and I thought we did that very, very well, and we took his running game away. Any quarterback that doesn't have a running game, it becomes predictable, and we had some predictable down and distances because they couldn't run the football.
The group, led by second-year defensive coordinator Blake Baker, came out ready and showed just how much talent they have on the sideline. With star linebacker duo Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins Jr. coming back from injury and big offseason pickups Mansour Delane, Jack Pyburn, and Patrick Payton, the defense held Clemson to just 230 yards passing and 31 total yards rushing.
That's awesome. I mean, we knew that this game would come down to us making big plays. I mean, we knew the offense that Clemson had, so we knew that it was going to come down to us. And I'm glad that we were able to get out there and make some plays.
While the defense held off Klubnik and company, the LSU offense, despite a slow start, eventually lit up, with Garrett Nussmeier throwing for 230 yards. Wide receiver Aaron Anderson grabbed 6 receptions for 99 yards. Running back Caden Durham picked up right where he left off, scoring the first touchdown for the Tigers and going for 74 yards on just 17 carries.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, to win a game like that, it wasn't pretty. We scored 17 points, but to come out here on the road, week 1, break the losing streak and all that, it's something that's so exciting for our program and so exciting for the guys in the locker room.
Everything has finally clicked into place for the Tigers as the team has claimed their first opening weekend win since 2019. And what happened in 2019? Well, we all saw that.
The Tigers left Clemson with a win and are going to look for another one as they face LA Tech this Saturday in their home opener. Coach Brian Kelly spoke to the media after Saturday night's win and talked about some of the key changes made to this team that helped them pull off that upset.
We've had offenses here the last few years that could move the football. We needed to complement with a defense that could stand the test. And you go on the road and play a top 5 team, you better bring a defense. And we knew that we were going to be that defense that needed to step up and step up big. I thought Blake called a great game. Our guys, each one of them came up and made individual plays. There's too many to mention, though. Mansour Delane got the game ball.
For this first Saturday of the season, LSU and versus Clemson would just be the icing on the cake, as earlier in the day we had two other top-tier matchups. Let's start with Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns versus the defending national championships Ohio State Buckeyes, and I feel like you could really see the caliber of difference between these teams. Now, I did not think Arch Manning was going to come out and play like a Heisman finalist like people maybe thought, but he really struggled in this offense. What did you think, Olivia?
Yeah, I really think one of the main issues was the O-line. They just kept letting him get pressured over and over, and that is not what you want in your first start. But moving on, we had Florida State taking down Alabama. Now, I called this one in the offseason. I knew that Florida State was going to bounce back from last year, especially with some of the new hires that they made. That 3-3-5 defense absolutely came in clutch, and Alabama just seems like they couldn't handle it. Tommy Castellanos had an absolutely amazing start in his debut for the Garnet and Gold, and they won that game 31-17.
Now, we had an amazing weekend of college football with teams like LSU and FSU really coming out and showing how they can play. And after the break, we go from the gridiron to the court as LSU Volleyball look to start their season on a high note against strong competition.
Right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
LSU volleyball team opened their season with 3 matches in a row. Already a tall task to take, especially with 2 ranked opponents in that schedule. Now reporter Jayla London is in studio to tell us more about the performance of the Tigers in opening weekend. Jayla.
Thanks, Kennedy. A tough opening weekend indeed, as LSU would look to pass their first tough test of the year. I was inside the PMAC Sunday for the Tigers clash against number 20 Baylor.
Outside hitter Journey Robinson has begun her junior season campaign, ending Game 3 of a 3-game series with 22 kills and 12 digs, scoring a total of 23.5 points for her team. What's behind that dominance?
It's the NCAA leaving me out of the ABC All-American and the watch list. So I think that just gives me motivation to work harder and just show everybody that I'm meant to be on that list.
Despite Robinson's contributions and periods of hope from LSU's offense, the Baylor Bears soon took over and overwhelmed the Tigers on both the defensive and offensive side of the net, taking 3 out of the 4 sets. Baylor's Grace Carroll and Manuela Babembe were too much for the Tigers to handle, accounting for 34 of the Bears' points.
Pressure on us from the serving line, and I thought their attacking was really good today.
LSU's slow start left them playing a game of catch-up that they know all too well, despite the home court advantage and unwavering fan support.
I think for us, it's just making adjustments sooner and coming out with the fire, like from the start. I feel like we started kind of flat, and it was the same thing somewhat yesterday. So coming out with the fire and then making adjustments quicker.
The lack of defense on the Tigers side of the net left the door wide open for the Bears. And while both teams fell short to the number 10 ranked SMU Mustangs this weekend, this game was all about the
After finishing number 10 in the SEC last season, the Tigers have to prove that they have what it takes to hang in there with ranked opponents. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jayla. Now, the LSU volleyball team was not the only Tiger squad to deal with some adversity this weekend.
Yeah, that's right, Kennedy. LSU soccer played UC Davis last night in a game where they played from behind for majority of the match. But reporter Jonathan Salazar was on the pitch and gave us the full stories on how the Tigers were able to rally.
LSU defeats UC Davis 3-2 in a win where they controlled the ball for majority of the game, but that didn't really amount to anything until the second half, where the Tigers scored 2 goals to put the game away.
The Tigers took 10 shots in the first half, but only managed to score 1 goal, compared to the Aggies' 3 shots and 2 goals. The Aggies' 2 goals would come as a result of a defensive lapse by the Tigers.
I think those are 2 goals that, we should never concede, to be honest. 2 very, very basic errors in our back line, and all credit to UC Davis, they capitalized on both. But I thought we were the dominant team for the majority of the game.
Senior forward Ida Hermansdottir believes that the Tigers made the game unnecessarily hard for themselves.
I think we were mainly giving ourselves trouble. We were shooting over the goal all the time, and we weren't finishing our crosses. We were just not being clinical, which I think we need to work on. But at the end of the day, we got 3 goals and finished the game.
With tonight's win, that marks Coach Shawn Hudson's 50th, putting her first all-time for LSU women's soccer.
Yeah, every win's important, but obviously the big milestone wins, it gives you an opportunity to just reflect on all the hard work that so many people put in behind the scenes. And I'm so thankful for everybody that's played a part in this journey here at LSU and these 50 wins. So many people to thank behind the scenes, and the players on the pitch obviously get it done for us. But yeah, it's a great accomplishment.
For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Jonathan Salazar.
Hudson and the Tigers will look to build off the momentum of this historic win as they head out west to take on Utah Valley and Utah next week. Coming up after the break, we take a look at your favorite American tennis players competing at the U.S. Open. Don't go anywhere.
Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to bronze.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Gia Picarella. The U.S. Open is one of the biggest events in American sports, with fans and players from all over the world coming to New York for one of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments in the season, featuring 48 Americans, the main draw at Flushing Meadows. In case you missed it, 45-year-old legend Venus Williams played in the main draw of the Open. She lost a 3-set match against Czech player Karolina Muchova. Venus is still competing in the women's double tournament, paired with Canadian Leylah Fernandez. They're actually playing right now against Alexandrova and Zhang. Another big storyline is the drama that happened after American Taylor Townsend defeated Yelena Ostapenko. We'll let Taylor tell us what happened.
She told me that I have no education, no class, and to see what happens if we play each other outside of the U.S. And I said, you know, I'm excited, bring it.
I'll tell you some important matches that you can't miss this week, starting with Novak Djokovic and American Taylor Fritz. Fritz reached the final last year but lost in 3 sets against Sinner. And finishing up with American superstar Jessica Pegula, who ranked number 4 in the quarterfinals after beating American Anna Lee in straight sets. She is the American favorite to go all of the way. If you haven't started watching the U.S. Open, it's not too late to start watching. Back to you, Olivia.
Thanks, Gia. And switching gears from the courts to the track, F1 is finally back, and they returned with the Dutch Grand Prix from their summer break. Now, it was the 2 McLarens who had the front 2 positions on the grid, Oscar Piastri leading Lando Norris. But this race would quickly become instantly chaotic.
I mean, just off of the first lap, as you can see, Max overtakes Lando on sauce, might I add. Max once again coming out strong and fast. But then Kimi Antonelli ran into Charles Leclerc later in the race, and I think from there it kind of just spun into quickly a large amount of chaos.
Yeah, we saw Lando's car blow up, and then Oscar finish on top. And unfortunately for Lando, that's going to make it a lot harder for him to catch up to win that Drivers' Championship. But Kennedy, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I agree. I think, unfortunately, this one is a real stickler for Lando, and I think this will seriously affect the rest of the season. I do not see him coming back in this one.
Exactly. But next up, we'll have our Play of the Week, and trust me, this is not one that you guys are going to want to miss. Stick with us.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Now, we also had some college football on Sunday where we saw some great plays, namely this one from South Carolina's Vicari Swain. He's a DB, had an 80-yard punt return. I don't think people realize how hard it is to get down the field, especially as a DB. This is not your forte. The game was tied 8-10 at the time of this, and this gave them the 2-score lead. What did you think, Olivia?
Yeah, I thought this was absolutely incredible. I mean, you just don't see punt returns like that anymore. But we've got one more game coming up in week 1 of college football, where Bill Belichick is about to make his collegiate debut at UNC, where they're going to face the TCU Horned Frogs. Now, Kennedy, who do you think is going to take this one?
I'm going to take Bill Belichick on this one and UNC. He's given me no reason not to trust him yet.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, his reputation precedes itself. And there's just, I have a feeling, no stopping this UNC team. But that's all we have for this week's edition of the Bayou Breakdown. Don't forget to keep up with us on all of our socials at LSU Tiger TV and on our website, tigertv.tv, excuse me.
For Tiger TV, I'm Kennedy Banks.
And I'm Olivia Drawdy. Have a great night.